Hey y'all, this is As Told by Queers, where we're speaking for the change makers. I'm Micah.
I'm Portia.
And today we're going to be talking about what's in the stars. This is going to be like astrology 101. We're going to start from the beginning, the basics, and we'll go over that after we do this deep breathing and go over some other stuff. So,
all right, I'm ready. You want to get ready to lead us in some breath?
Yes.
If it's your first time to the podcast, or if you are returning, welcome. We like to start our podcast with a little deep breath just to get us present and ready to listen. Yeah. Ready to be exactly where we are and kind of de-stress whatever happened in our day before right now and get real present and with each other and connected. Y'all ready?
You're comfy.
All right, let us take a deep inhale. Hold it a little at the top and exhale. Another deep inhale. Hold it at the top and exhale. On this last one, I like to exhale with a big sigh and just really release whatever's in my shoulders and relax into the day, this moment. So let's take one deep inhale, last one. Hold at the top and exhale with a sigh. Settled.
All right. It takes a lot for my eyes to open once I do this exhale. So like, give it a moment.
I know. Come back whenever you feel ready.
Right. we'll be here for a solid 5 minutes. So I'm just going to open. Okay. So where are we going now? Sorry. Oh, okay. So
you're telling us why this topic? What happened?
Yes. Okay. So this segment is going to be on pretty much I like to go over where the moon phases are and just like the type of energy that we're feeling on this day. Of course, we've already pre-recorded this stuff. So when you get this, the moon will be in Capricorn. Right now, child, we just came out of a Scorpio moon and that was a treat for us, but we're not going into that. We're going to talk about the moon that you're actually in right now because, child, Capricorn moon, if you do not know, moon, it's about emotions, it's about your feelings, about deep diving within. That is what it's about. That's the basics. Capricorn, however, is very much about structure, planting, getting shit done, lack of emotion, because we gotta get shit done. So when you put these two together, it is not in the most, I would say this is not Disneyland for Capricorn. This is like, they're working. So putting Capricorn in the moon is making Capricorn work in an area that is not so much comfortable in, because anybody knows when you're at work, you don't want to be super emotional. You want to get stuff done. You want to make sure everything's on a timely manner and go home. It's very hard to do that if you are very emotional, right? You want to sit in a corner. You want your fucking chocolate. You want your chocolate shakes. You want your chips, and you want to watch Netflix. That's what you want to do in your blanket with the air on. Cool. That's not what's happening. So, okay. So right now you're going to there could be a strong need to work on your emotions because Capricorn is always working. It's about boundaries. It's about striving. It is the sea goat. It is the goat that is trying to climb things. So everything is in an orderly fashion. So if you put the moon and the Capricorn together, you're probably going to feel a need to be useful to society. You're going to want to maybe get outside. You're going to want to structure your emotions, try to understand your emotions, or put your emotions to the side during this time. Just depending on where your actual natal chart, because everyone has their own personal natal chart. So if you are a water sign and the moon is in Capricorn right now, and your moon sign is in a water sign, you may feel uncomfortable because you may feel like, I don't want my emotions to be in this structurally way. That's not how I like to work. So you may struggle during this time. if your moon sign, if your natal moon sign is in a fire sign, you may feel very productive. You're like, oh yeah, let's go out, let's do this. Like, cause fire is very go, 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 go. They're initiating every single thing. So, so they may feel the power to get more structure, get more stuff done. So you may feel more productive during this time. If you're an air sign, you may think before you speak during this time because they're more of a communicative sign. So during this time, you may feel that way. If you're an earth sign, you're going to feel like, whoo, I feel so much better. I feel grounded. I feel centered. I feel at home. So these are some of the things that you're going to feel. It's during this time, it's not really a good time to kind of seek for validation outside of you. It's more of trying to seek validation within yourself and to find comfort, because Capricorn is very much of a very sure of themselves sign. And I guess you should use that energy and be juice yourself up, hype yourself up, be your biggest hype man during this time. Don't try to get it on the outside, because it's not going to work for you. It's only going to last for like, I don't know, a day or a few hours. And then what do you have? So it's really going within yourself and seeking your own approval and ignoring others during this time.
And this is all for one day?
For 2 to 3 days. You got 2 days to do this. That's the energy, right? For one day, jeez. Yeah.
I
got some time. Be prepared, because we're not there yet. But you guys are there already. But me and Portia, we're not there yet.
I'm feeling it. My natal sign is a water sign. So
yes.
Moon. But no shit. Capricorn moon's been rocking my life for the last couple of months. I'm here for the Capricorn moon.
You're in very Capricorn moon energy very often. So when you adapt to that energy, it becomes more comfortable depending on the type of energy. I was talking to one of my close friends, and she was like, every state probably has their own zodiac sign. And my mind fucking blown. I was like, oh, what about cities? Oh, what about county? It was the whole thing. So, but yeah, everything has an energy. When you start to flow in that energy more and more, it just becomes a part of you, and you get more comfortable.
I love it. And I will say Capricorn moon feels like a Red Bull to me. That's how it's been feeling.
It feels like what?
It feels like a Red Bull. I'm like, all this extra energy and that extra little I don't give a fuck is so helpful.
Oh yes. They don't. They really don't give a fuck. They're the boss. And what boss really gives a fuck?
Boss teams. I love that energy.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm preparing an oracle card reading for us today. And I thought that because we were talking about astrology, it would be so fun to do the Moonology Oracle deck.
Oh, yes.
This is by Miss Yasmin Boland. I love these. These are fun. One of the things I really like about these, kind of talking about the other ones, is that you get a little bit of whatever sign you pull, whatever moon you get. It tells you a little bit about what that moon is. It tells you a little bit about like where it is and why. And then it also gives you an oracle meaning to take no matter where the moon is in the sky right now, that you can take from the oracle deck whenever you pull the card. So these are kind of fun. And they're also super pretty on the back end.
Yes.
I just love that. I love a thing that you can do both ways. I don't know what you call that. What do you call it?
I don't know.
I'm like, I want to say ambidextrous, but that's when you have a left and right hand ability. It's close. I normally pull before, but I figured I'd just pull live. We're just doing a general reading today. Yum! The card we have pulled is Full Moon in Libra. If you can see what that says, it says a win-win outcome is in the forecast.
Wow.
Guys, this is good news.
It is good news.
Somebody was excited about astrology.
And we are both, I'm a Libra rising, she's a Libra sun, so we're stoked right now.
Exactly. I love a full moon in Libra. Okay, let me read to you what a full moon in Libra says from our little book. The full moon in Libra, the sign of partnership, of falling in love, and of closely relating to someone else. Since full moons are about climaxes and conclusions, this card suggests you're either about to start a new relationship or that an important existing relationship is changing somehow, perhaps coming to an end or moving to a new level of commitment. It's important to remember that people come to us for a reason and sometimes just for a season. If a relationship is ending right now, it's doing so at the right time, so don't try to fight it. This card can also refer to a professional relationship. There is a sense that you need to balance your ego with someone else's needs. A win-win outcome is possible with give and take. Doing so might be the answer to your question. The note here says, let go that of which is falling away. See the other person through the eyes of love. It might change your perspective. It's time for you to make a firm decision. Time for you to focus on yourself for a while. Look after yourself for a while, but avoid vanity, a Libra's favorite thing. Now is a great time for a makeover. So some other little tidbits with that. An interesting card reading.
All the things I receive.
Some new things on the horizon for the soul group. You guys, are we having like Rona base? I mean, somebody come let me know. You guys, this is how it's why we have to keep connected on Instagram, because I pull these readings and I'm like, who is this for? Who's got the Rona Bay vibes?
Right. Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I like that reading. That was good. I like this. I'm gonna have to snag that from you.
It's a fun deck.
Let's get into the topic. So this episode is called "What is the Stars?" And the reason why we wanted to do this is because we talk about astrology a lot. That's like low-key a second language for us. We're like, it just is. It's how we communicate. So we wanted you guys to kind of have a episode where we just go over the basics and kind of build up on the basics, so that we don't have to do this every single episode. We can be like, hey, look at that tag up there, go there. So we're just gonna dive into that. So first, what is astrology? The best way that I can explain it is, it's one of the first, I feel like, okay, you got to take yourself back to when there was no cities. There was just, you just out in the wild, living your life, right? Hunting and gathering, as we would call it. And that's it, Imagine how bright the stars were. Imagine how bright the sun is. Imagine how bright the moon is. These were like the first sense of there's something bigger than us, and there are energies out there that are moving us. Can you imagine being during this time and there's like a full moon or a pink moon or an eclipse going on? Shook your fucking souls, right? Like, what is going on? And there's been plenty of stories where like the full moon is connected to a dragon eating the moon and etc. Like, there's plenty of different beliefs. And this is like the first, for me, in my belief, it's the first religion. It's the first belief that I've seen in mankind, because you could take even all the other religions, and it connects to beliefs that people have on the stars. When it comes to the cross, when it comes to Jesus, all these different Muslims, it comes to all these different things, it's all connected. And so for me, I was like, okay, I'm here for, religious beliefs and learning about them and seeing how it connects with me. And that's just how I was just like, okay, I'm already here for the spiritual, so let's figure out this for myself. How do I connect with it? So yeah, that's kind of what astrology is for me. It's an energy. I truly believe in energies, and so how are they influencing my life? How is it influencing your life? What about you, Portia? What is astrology for you?
Okay, so for me, well, and for starters, I just want to say, part of the reason why we're explaining this is because these are things that we're really passionate about and people ask us about all the time. So we figured if we're going to be talking about it every single week because we're so passionate about it. We might as well explain why we're even talking about it in the first place. And I think I also want to say I am not an astrologer. I am somebody just like y'all that has learned a bunch and figured out how I'm going to work it for me. And so for me, astrology has been this really wonderful way to get connected to a map. And again, it just depends on your belief system. I'm a believer that every soul decided to come to this planet for a reason. And for me, astrology has existed like, here's a map of the things that I'm pretty sure you're going to be working with while you're here. Ready, set, go. And that's what it felt like for me when I got my natal chart. It was like, oh shit, I did go through that. Oh, I do have that issue. Oh, you're right, that is a thing. Because my natal chart literally hit the nail on the head almost all the time. And I think it's because I'm a Libra sun. And I was raised by Libras in a house full of Libras. So I consider myself to be like Libra on crack. My entire belief system is Libra. So anytime I picked up a horoscope, it was always relatively right. But it just seemed really vague. And then getting into what the chart is, and we'll have more about that later, about explaining what is a natal chart and what you use it for, really gave me a freedom to feel like, oh shit, all these things were kind of planned. Oh, okay. It just helps you believe in, at least helped me believe in, there is a universal plan. And here's some clues on how and where you can lean in to things to make for a more balanced and easy flowing life. Astrology has really given that to me, which has been dope. What I think astrology is not is like, because you're a Gemini, it must be this way. Because you're this, it must be this way. And I think that people get discouraged when they go read a horoscope and either it doesn't line up or they only take it as far as their horoscope, don't take it any further into their chart, or it's not exactly them. These are general readings. You got to think on the planet, how many Geminis are there? Not everyone's having the same experience. There are many other things in the chart, many other things in the skies, many other things in the way things move that affect that. So I did want to say that astrology is one of those things that you could spend a lifetime learning and never get to the bottom of it. So I am definitely somebody that's learning astrology, and happy to pass on any tips and tricks that I got with y'all because I love y'all, and that's what it is.
Yes, I totally agree. There are, like, to piggyback what you were saying, there are people who really take it and like hone into it and be like, this is how it's supposed to be because of this. And like, that's not the case. It's understanding the energy and figuring out what you need to do with that energy, taking it, not letting it control every bit of you. Every sign has their maturity and their immaturity. So it's up to you to develop that the way that you need to. If you need to learn balance in this area, then that's what you need to do. If you need to learn discipline in this area, then that's what you need to do. So every sign has their own situation that you need to learn. It doesn't mean that you have to stay there. It's just for you to have the understanding and to see it clearly and then move forward. You know what I mean? On whatever. And if you don't resonate with it, as I believe, if you don't resonate with some, kick it to the side. That means that wasn't for you, literally. Wasn't for you, let it go. So
take what you need, leave what you don't. If it doesn't feel right in your spirit, or if it doesn't feel right in your spirit right now, let that roll. I think that we're such little smart computers that your body knows what feels good and what doesn't. Listen to yourself.
So what do you use it for personally, Portia?
I use astrology for a number of things. One of my favorite things to use astrology for, I guess, overall, is to find those things that I need to lean in and out of. Speaking about what you said, when you get your chart and you get an idea of what your tendencies lean towards, I can know certain situations are likely going to trigger this in me. I like to be prepared, and it's nice to feel like I get a little bit of like, oh, okay. It's also been a real gift for me in not making things wrong. I think oftentimes we judge ourselves so harshly, and I judge myself so harshly of like, God, why did I do that? Or why is it this way? And then I'll, look at where the moon is and be like, oh, okay, everything is working in universal flow. There is a plan, everything, okay, it's all moving, where it needs to be moving. One other little secret that I use astrology for is for planning. As a woman, I'm really embracing my feminine right now and embracing what flow means. And astrology really helps me to be able to look at my month, look at my week, look at where things are coming and going, and find little pockets of awesome that I can use for certain things. There are certain placements in my chart that are advantageous to being out and being in public. And I find that it's like a moon in Capricorn. It's like a little Red Bull. Like I can ride that energy. And also because of learning my chart well, I found little secret pockets that I can steal into too. My moon is in Pisces, so there are little things, and we'll talk more about that when we start talking about where our placements are in our chart. But I use it for the little things that I get extra because of where that is in my chart. The little extra skills that I don't even have to really try at, that I'm naturally good at, because I've learned that that was there. And once I learned what it was, I really started to be able to use it to my advantage. It helps me feel like I'm more on a flow with things rather than kind of going upstream all the time.
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, I would say, well, first, it was like my first, maybe my second. It was my second way of getting to know myself. My first way of getting to know myself when I really started to deep dive was my love languages. I was like, oh shit, you paying attention to yourself? Oh, okay. Then the second thing was astrology. So I use it just to get to know me and just to keep reiterating like things that I connect with and just who I am as a person and accepting those things, because not all of them are, healthy, but it's just accepting where you are right now. Let's see what else. I just enjoy it. I love learning about astrology. It's fun for me. Like I literally get the kicks. It's fun to learn about your friends and your loved ones, the people that you're close to, your parents. It gets you healing. I found healing with understanding my parents and just where their chart is. And I'm like, they ain't got no choice but to be that way. Like it's just, that's how they were wired. It got me to understand people and why they do the certain things that they do. And just, not take things so personal because of how they move in their life. What else? Yeah, that's really what I use it for. Of course, I follow the moon. I try to pay attention to that. Following the moon, understanding what energies are around you will let you know if you need to keep your ass at home, if you need to have this hard conversation right now with how you're feeling right now, or, just how productive you're going to be in the day. If this is going to be a day, it's just, you're going to have to chug it out. You're just not going to feel good, but you got a lot of shit to do today. It's really good to help you just kind of navigate and just know what energy is around you. Because you don't want to, because I like to be prepared. As you, Portia, I want to be prepared.
Exactly. I like a little, I'm a natural life hacker. So astrology helps with the tips and tricks. Also to mention, there is many different kinds of astrology, many different ways to access astrology. Getting an astrology reading, an individual astrology reading with somebody that can read through your chart, really takes it to the next level. So we'll talk more about that once you get into charts, but I definitely want to make sure that we remember to let people know how they can get more information.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to put links below of like some of the first astrologers that I found on YouTube. And like you guys will have some links where definitely good for like beginners and just people that I trust to get some readings done from. And look, YouTube is huge. So once you click one, there's going to be a million more. And there's tons of people out there talking. Just find that person that you connect with.
And we'll definitely put you on some of our favorites.
Yeah. So next, we're going to go into our charts. So, all right. If you're new, then you don't know, but I'm a Scorpio.
Wait, you got to first tell people, what is a chart? What is a natal chart and why do we need it?
Right. Thank you. I'm sorry. We're going from the beginning, y'all. My bad. 101. Okay. For the babies. Okay. So a natal chart is basically when you were born, the city you were born in, time you were born, everything stopped for your little beautiful self. And it took the picture, okay? The picture was literally where all the planets set at that time, in that period. And every planet had a sign in it, okay? So from, Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, Mercury, the sun, the moon, Venus, I got them all. Yes, I think I got them all. Yes, when you were born, there was a picture that was taken. This picture is your birthday. It's your solar day. It's your universal day. Okay. And when that happened, it pretty much set the tone for the energy that you flow in for the rest of your life. Now, that's your inner energy. Now, a horoscope, I see where you was going, sis. Now, your horoscope is the outer energy. That is not, even though we love to talk about ourselves, but the world is still moving. It's still spinning. Energy is still flowing. And so outside of you, there's tons of energies that you are feeling, especially when it comes to the planets, because they hold the most energy. The Earth has its own energy. The moon has its own energy. Pluto, etc. All these other planets, right? And there's core planets that are spinning around the Earth, that is spinning around the sun. So these are the ones that we're really focused on. When you get into aspects and all this other type of stuff, that's when you're going deep. But we're not going there. We're one-on-one here. We're on day one. So,
remember we said you can study this for your whole life and probably still never get to the bottom of it. But this is what you need to know to get started right now.
Right. These are the basics. So, okay. So today we're really going to be focusing on, like in the beginning, when I was talking about the moon and what the moon is in, that's the outer energy that I was talking about that we're going to be working in. But today in this episode, we're going to be more focusing on the inner planets within yourself, within your natal chart. Okay. So the inner energy in me, I was born on November 18th, 1990. Certain people are not comfortable with saying their time because then you're going to have a hack to somebody, right? You're going to know their energy. But anyways, I was born in the morning.
Is that like people don't like people to know?
No.
Oh, that's
don't share their inner, like all of their planets, because you do know people and you know their weaknesses and stuff. So if you're not comfortable with that, like my little suspect Scorpio is, then you're not gonna give out all that information. So yes, I was born in the morning. Anywho, and also speaking about the time that you were born really quickly, it's important to know that. It's important to know if you were born during a full moon. It's important to know these things because those could be hacks to when you feel more grounded, where it's a good time to really center yourself, where it's a good time to really get to talking with yourself during this time. I find a lot of peace during the morning times, around the time that I was born, so it's very important. Now, you can learn so there's two sides of your natal chart. There are the signs where there's the planets, and there are the signs where there are the houses, right? So we're just going to focus on the side with the planets. It's very easy to find that. We're going to put the links below. It's you can go to Astro Cafe, Astrology. You can click that link. If you want to pause and then go to that link and figure out your stuff and then come back, that would be very helpful because you could kind of follow and see maybe one of your signs that we have, it will match you. Like, girl, look, we're connected. This is why we're here. Okay, yeah. So anywho, so the side that we're going to be focusing on is your planets, and we're mainly going to talk about your sun, your moon, and your rising, okay? So your sun is your ego, right? And it is like, it's the brightest star, right? It's the one that we see all the time. There's nothing new under the sun. It's a creative sign. It is very energetic, of course. It brings light to everything. So it brings life to everything. What else can we say about the sun? It is an important part, but it is not the only thing. It's not the only thing in your chart. And when I figured out that there was more than the sun, that's when I just like deep dived into everything about astrology, because I was like, oh my God, that's why I'm not like this Scorpio and that Scorpio. So when you hear a general reading about something, you have to understand that that's just one specific reading of that energy. You match with other different types of energies, and when you combine them together, that's when you could probably find some similarities.
And so, like when people say, "What's your sign?" the sign they're talking about is your sun sign.
Correct. But then you'll hear people who are more advanced, like, "What's your moon sign? What's your Venus sign?" And usually, understand this, when someone's asking you what your moon sign is or your Venus sign, they're trying to get somewhere, especially your Venus sign. They're probably trying to holler or something. They're probably trying to figure out how you communicate with people and how you deal with your relationships, because that's a good way to get to know how you want to, how you deal with relationships is your Venus sign. So anyways, so my sun sign is in Scorpio. Scorpio is Scorpio is the sign of, like, how can I word this? It's the sign of rebirth, death, what else? Taxes. It's what else? It's, of course, sex. So yes, that is.
Oh, we're missing one in these S's. Secrets and sex is what I hear with Scorpio.
Yes. It is a darker energy. It is about what is behind the veil, what is behind what you do at home. That is Scorpio. Okay. So yes, what you do behind closed doors, that is Scorpio. Now you're putting that in the sun, where the sun sees everything. It is very bright. These people, when you see them, you're going to be able to see certain things about them. They're going to seem more secretive, more deep. Like when you look at them, every Scorpio has, if you have strong Scorpio traits in your chart, they have these eyes that will, like, pierce into your soul and you will feel seen. You will. And it's just because that's part of their trait. They are the ones they're gonna easily be able to get to know who you are, and you won't know nothing about them. Not their deepest, darkest fears, none of that type of stuff. So unless they're willing to open up to you, and that takes time, because the Scorpios, their actual animal is a scorpion, and they're on the ground. They're very secretive. They're not just out like a bird. No, that's not a thing. They're under rocks. They're in their little tunnels and stuff. They're not trying to be out unless they're feeding. So anyways, anywho, that is that for that sun sign. I definitely connect.
No, we missed the sex part. Because what are Scorpios known for?
They are, okay, yes. They're known for sex. Sex is fun for them.
That was cute that you just skipped over that.
If your sun sign is in Scorpio, your ego can be very much in sex. So you can definitely get boosted up from that. And ego is not always bad. It's not always bad. And it's good to know where your ego is. Let's see. I wouldn't say that all Scorpios are good at sex, but I would say that they enjoy it. I say that this is a good, if you are dating a Scorpio, it's a good partner to have when it comes to sex, because you can easily explore with them, because they down to fuck. So they're down to get to explore in that area. If you are a Scorpio, what would I give? I would say just explore yourself. Keep exploring yourself. Find a partner that matches you sexually, that will desire you in a way that pleases you, because we love to be desired. That is a thing. What else? Yeah, sex is a thing.
Yeah, that's cute. Let's just skip over it. What do you know?
I totally forgot about that. Oh, another thing about Scorpio suns, revenge. Okay, look.
Oh, yes.
I am talking to Scorpios only. Everyone else must leave. Okay, look me in my eyes. It is going to be okay. Revenge is what you feel that comes natural to you, and you want to give it to everybody. But understand, it is not healthy for you, okay? It is not healthy for you. It may feel amazing when you get that revenge. It may feel like you're on the top of the world, but it's going to come back tenfold. Understand, okay? So, look, and this is why it's going to happen. Scorpio is the sign of transformation, okay? So first you start into the actual scorpion. There's three, this is the only sign that has three animals. It has three, like, icons or whatever that you would use, or mascots. And they all are about transformation. The first is actual scorpion. And that is the lowest level. That's the least mature. So a lot of people run into the least mature Scorpio. This is why we get a bad rep. They run into the not mature one, where it's the Scorpion where you never know, but they're going to sting you. That's that one that they usually run into. Very revengeful. And then once you transform and you go through all your hurt and you figure out why you're doing these things, etc., and you go through the growth, you have the ego. You turn into the ego. And the ego is like they're above. They're not on the ground a lot. You rarely see an ego on the ground unless they're eating, and they're usually picking their food up and going somewhere with it. So they only come down to sting or to eat when they need to. They only come to do that stinger or to eat you or to devour you when they have to. They're not doing it all the time as consecutively as a Scorpion would. So that's them elevating or evolving. And then you turn into this amazing, I think it actually get it tatted on me, which is the Phoenix, where the Phoenix is all about transformation. So they are, shedding, they are transformation, and they're fully going through a whole cycle of rebirth, death, etc. And they're doing it without affecting not a motherfucking person, but themselves. And that's where the Scorpio needs to get to. So if you're thinking about revenge right now, I'm telling you, just deep dive within yourself. It's just time for you to transform within yourself. Please take that tip, because child, it took me years. But yeah, that's all. I promise you, that's all I have to say about Scorpio sun. That's it. Whew, so much.
Get a bad rap. Scorpios are one of the signs that if you're not into astrology and you're like, what the hell's the point? Scorpios are one of the signs that people have the most to say about.
Yes, we are very interested. We're the very interesting sign. We're one of the most favorite signs that are talked about because, of course, sex sells. So, and we're about sex for one. And for two, we're very mysterious. And so everyone likes that mystery, and it's a dark mystery. So it's really like, ooh, what's that? Let me touch that. Let me go figure that out. And like Scorpio's like, nah, bruh. Like, no. We don't want you to figure out anything. Okay. Now, to the other sun over there, Libra sun over there, you are ruled by Venus. So she's just, I've always said this about Portia. She is a walking heart. She is a walking heart. Venus is about love, relationships, and connecting. What do you want to say about your sun sign?
Libra sun tends to, the stereotypes, at least in my life, have been true. Stereotypes of Libra sun is that you're indecisive all day. And it more has to do with that life is delicious. So all of the options just seem so juicy. So it's hard to figure out what's the best one, because there's always two bests.
Pick me. So what we've heard about Libra suns are, because they're very indecisive, they could be cheaters. This is a stereotype. I'm not calling you a cheater. I'm just saying that this is one of the stereotypes that you guys have, because you guys like all of the options. And when you put that into a relationship, it's like, why would I limit myself to one person when I have this person and that person? That brings me this and this and this, So yeah, you could definitely have that in a Libra. They could catch themselves in a lot of drama because they're a mutable sign. And mutable means that they are changeable. So they can change and adapt to different environments. And say, for instance, if they have two friends that don't really get along, they're like, hey, I like this friend for this, and I could be here and be in the middle of this, and it doesn't bother me none, because they are an air sign. So air signs are not big on emotion. They're not really getting affected by that. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't feel emotions at all. It just means that you're not affected by it, unless you have a lot of water in your chart or other things that are changing the energy of your chart. But yeah, so Libras could definitely be in the middle of some drama, and they're just la 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 through life, not knowing that they're stirring up the damn pot.
What's interesting about Libras too is oftentimes, because Libras typically are stereotypically, like when you think of like a stereotypical Libra, you're thinking of someone's a nice person. Libras are the scales. So oftentimes they're the people who get along with everybody. They get along, like you said, they're able to mute themselves to kind of go into any environment. So we're the kind of people that you bring to a party and we'll talk to anybody. You put me next to somebody and we'll have that conversation. If you have an extroverted Libra, those are like the stereotypical ones. I am said same. You know, that is true for me in my core. But that also means that where everyone's having drama around me, I'm not the center of the drama, and I'm also not I may be stirring the pot, but I'm not conscious of it. So that pot's getting stirred, and I'm happy. I'm over here in the fields, honey. I'm over here getting cake and ice cream because we're not deciding. I'm a buffet kind of bitch, okay? My ass is in the world looking for the good things.
Right. Okay. What else can we say about Libra? There's so much.
That Libra sun signs are inherently kind. And I think that the thing you got to be nervous about with Libra sometimes is that we say we don't have emotions, but they're there. And oftentimes we're just flying on top of them and not paying attention. So Libras, take this as a hit. Sometimes you got to check in and see about how you're being and make sure that you're introspective enough or that you trust your people around you enough to reflect how their experience is of you. Because sometimes we will just go and we have no idea how we're showing up in communities, no idea whose pot we've stirred, no idea who's pissed off about us in the corner. And we're over here just trying to well, why doesn't everybody like us? Because we're trying to bring the balance.
Right. Yes, they're very big on balance. They are the sign of the scale. That is their little mascot. That's their little thing. They're the scale. They're the justice. And they're good to be there because they are the center of the zodiac. There's 12 and they are number 6. So, I'm sorry, number 7. Number 6? Number 6. Number 7. They're in the middle. Okay. Sick of this shit. And they are balancing the more of the basically how I see it is it's a chart. It's also the zodiac is a chart of ages. So the youngest of the zodiac will be Aries. The oldest is Pisces. And we're going to go into that later when we talk about your Pisces moon. Because it shows the maturity in the emotions, and that is so heightened. And this is why you have more of the psychic vibes that you get from a Pisces moon. So anywho, that is the sun. That's kind of like some of the ways that it does show up. I think we touched on everything that I wanted to say about them, about Libra sun. So now we're going to go into the actual moon.
So what is a moon sign?
A moon sign is pretty much, it could represent your mother, your relationships of your mother, because the moon represents the mother. It explains maybe the cycles that you actually go through throughout the cycles of the actual moon. So the outer world of the moon and how that influences you, whether it's a full moon or not. Or whatever. What else? It can show your emotional maturity. How you just handle your emotions in general. Like, it's just an emotional sign. So
moon feels like the feels.
It is the feeling.
The way that you go through the feels, it's the way that the emotion works. When I think about moon sign, I think about people are like, why does the moon, even matter? Well, the reason why we have waves is because of the moon's gravitational pull on the earth. It affects that much of the water on the earth. How much water is in your body also helps you to understand why the moon has such a pull on that.
Right, exactly. And to me personally, I feel like you are more of your moon than you are of your sun sign. That's me personally. That's my belief. If there's anything that you want to focus on the most, for me, it was my moon sign where I was like, oh shit, bitch. So
definitely as a woman as well, your moon sign really helps you to get an idea. I got more from learning my moon sign than I did from learning my sun sign.
I'm going to tell you how. My moon sign is in Sag. Sag is known as the flighty, explory, don't know what you're going to get, fire sign, right? Now, my actual cycle is very much the same. I don't know when that bitch is coming. I don't know when unflow is coming. It just shows the fuck up. It skips months. It comes into town and then it leaves. It could be 2-3 days. It could be 5 days. I don't know. And that is Sag energy. That is a way that you can connect your personal menstrual cycle to your actual moon sign. So it's very connected. Portia, yours follows the actual moon cycles. Now yours is on what? Every full moon, correct?
Yes, because I'm a Pisces moon. Oftentimes, many Pisces moons that I've met have their cycles follow the moon. So either they start their menstrual cycle with the new moon, or they start their menstrual cycle with the full moon. I am one of the full moon. Lots of interesting perks that come with that. But that is, and I think even if you're not a cycling person, if you're a man or you no longer have a cycle, the world still works on a cycle, right? We think winter, spring, summer, fall. There is still a cyclical nature to how things work, and the moon helps to really govern the cycles in general and the feelings. And I think water in general is a very feminine aspect. And when you think of the feminine, you're thinking of like receiving. I think of like receiving information within is kind of how I experienced my moon sign.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so let's see. Again, as I said before, my moon sign is in Sag. No, let's start with yours, Portia. Your moon sign is in Pisces, right?
Dang it!
So how I see Pisces moon people, very intuitive people, very much about, they are receiving energy all the time. That Pisces is the last zodiac sign. So that means that they see the actual zodiac sign as like an actual person that is moving through the 12 cycles, right? And so it finally went through all of the phases, all of the signs, and it got to the 12th one. And it's like, bitch, we have learned. We have went through Aries, Taurus. We have done through Gemini. We done made it through Gemini, bitch, with that little dual situation. Girl, we went through the dark side with Scorpio, and we came out on the Sag. Now we like about the business with Capricorn. Then like we need a break, so we went to Aquarius, and like now we're very, we're giving to others, and now it's about coming back and receiving all of that energy, and what have we learned? And that is Pisces. So when we finally get into this energy and you put that into the moon, it is receiving everyone's energy, because everyone is a mixture of those signs, that of all the signs that the Pisces just went through. And I would say they are like the oldest of them all, the wisdom, the psychic, the one that's most in tune with the source as it could be. And with that gift comes a great responsibility. It comes with a great responsibility. So you have to be able to, with this sign, it will definitely be getting in tune with whatever it's big on frequency. Like, I feel like frequency is a big thing for them, because and it doesn't matter. It could be there's so many things that could get you into a frequency. It could be music. It can be, meditating. It could be, what's those little things? The sound bowls. It could be those things. Those things can really get you moving and centered, and where you feel the most, just, I don't know, I don't want to say centered, but just juicy, energetic.
I would say grounded. I think the thing you got to think through being a Pisces moon is what you just said is real. It's all over the place. And maintaining your frequency really is a vibe. Maintaining your vibe so that it feels like this and not like this.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, Pisces is interesting, girl, because I used to date this Pisces sun, and I was like, look, I can't keep it with you. One moment you're here, and then like literally 3 minutes later, in the middle of our conversation somewhere on Sunset and fucking Boulevard, you're this way. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I can't do that. Like, it's just too much, but learning about this sign, understanding how they work, is very important, but it just seems like a lot of energy, more than you can handle, or anyone could.
It's fun to be a Pisces moon. Once you figure out that that's what's happening, because otherwise it's like, what the fuck is happening? Why do I feel like a screen door of how people are just like, their emotions are like passing through me? Like, what the fuck is that about? I'm not sad. You're sad. Why am I sad? That takes a minute, or at least it took me a minute to kind of get to that place. But there's a deep, 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 deep well being a Pisces moon. It's easy for me to pull on what it is that I need. It's why I think I'm so spiritual. As a Pisces moon, for me, everything is spirit first. Starts with the spirit, and then we go everywhere else. I, sometimes feel like I'm in this thing, but oftentimes I'm somewhere else. But it's about coming back to spirit, like you said, feeling connected to source energy. And I also think the way that my Pisces moon affects my Libra sun is I have a deep love for people, and I understand and want to heal as much as I can, have my presence be a healing presence. So the way that I feel people's feelings is in a happy space and wanting to share things with them. So it does make everybody's a certain level of empathic. I feel like Pisces moon people typically have a much deeper level of that as well, and sometimes that brings a lot of pain, and sometimes it brings a lot of pleasure. It just depends on the person, depends on the life, depends on the circumstance, and depends on where you're at in your journey.
Yeah. I agree. So yeah, that is Pisces moon. As for me, I'm a Sag moon, so my moon sign is in fire. So my emotions can be very fiery. They could be very quick, but they could be very hard to catch because they could be very flighty, because Sag is a very flighty sign. Sag is about exploring. So I'm going to explore my emotions. I'm here to deep dive, hence this whole podcast, and me in general with my friends, with my loved ones. I'm always here to deep dive about my emotions, their emotions. I feel the most centered when I'm learning. A lot of the books that I read are about self-examining, self-care, those types of things, self-building, etc., self-knowledge. So, and that's when I feel the most grounded, is when I'm learning something. If I'm not learning something, I will get bored. So, what else? The moon in Sag doesn't like to be sad. The moon in Sag does not like to be sad. Sag is very optimistic. So even though I have Scorpio who's like, bitch, I want to know all the feelings, all of them. I have that in me. But as for me personally, and this is becoming more and more recently, what I'm noticing is like, I don't like sad. I don't like people knowing that I'm sad. Or I don't want to be sad for a long, here it is. I don't want to be sad for a long periods of time. Like, okay, you got a solid 5 minutes and we're done. Okay. Like, that's all you got here. That's all we have room for. Then you need to move the fuck on. Okay. So, yeah, that's how I interpret it. Moon is Sag. A very fun sign to look at, and it's the only way that you can get this if you know the time that you were born. How you can find that, of course, is by asking your mother or your father, or if none of those are an option, your birth certificate has it. So that's another thing that you can do. Get your birth certificate. So anywho,
I'm gonna say, try not to ask your mama. She was going through something when you came out. You know what I mean? My mama didn't know at all. I know multiple mamas who was like, I was alive.
Best place to go and look is, because my mom was about 35 minutes off. Now she was pretty good. She was in the ball range. But it made a difference. I went from being within that little cycle, I went from being a Scorpio rising to a Libra rising. So that you need the correct information. Okay. So anyway, so Libra, so what your rising is, it's kind of like how the best way to explain it is like, it's your personality. It's like what a lot of people will see when they first see you. And then it's just like an outer layer. of how you could like explain it. It's just an outer layer. It could be how you kind of express yourself at first, and then they get to see like all the deepness in you once they get to talking to you back and forth. Let's see. That's how I would explain the rising sign. How would you explain the rising sign?
At least for me, and it could just be because where my rising sign is, my rising sign also has to do with my physical body for whatever reason.
Yes. Yes. It is very much your physical body, very much of how you present yourself. Absolutely.
I look like my rising.
I can't wait to get into your rising. Okay, so mine is, I'm a Libra rising. A lot of people say that Libra risings are very big on how they present themselves. They have to be on point. Their outfits have to match. They're very much of, they can win the best dress in their school and like all that good stuff, right? Because they're ruled by Venus. Like they want, and they're the Venus of like luxury. Like they're that side of the Venus, because there's another side of the Venus, and we're gonna get to that because she's the other side of the Venus. I just realized that, sis, you're the other side of Venus. Surprising. Why am I just
all like, Venus, everything, all Venus, Earth thing? Okay,
so anyways, so yes, I could come off very social up front, like very open and social and like bubbly and wanting to get to know people. That is very much a part of my chart. Now, how that blends with the rest of the stuff that I've just told you guys is that sometimes I'm like, I don't want to be this social, but I've exerted myself so much with this relationship that like I have to, because that's what they're expecting, and that's what I'm expecting of my fucking self. So I put on pressure too, because there's a lot of times where Scorpio is like, nah, bruh, we want to get a hat on, sunglasses on, and just sit and look and observe. So yeah, what else about Libra rising? They can be very much, you could feel like they're into you, very much so, and they aren't. They're not into you at all. They're just talking. They're just talking. That's another thing about Libra. They could just be talking, and like they're not, and you could think they're so into you, especially with my Scorpio, because the questions that I'm asking are so deep and so like, ooh, but no, there's nothing there behind it. What else? Oh, very flirtatious. Very flirtatious. What else? Charming, good looking a lot of the times, you know, pound back, here we go. Yeah, that's what I got for Libra rising. Taurus risings. So here's the opposite. So this is my partner Venus, and so pretty much they're about comfort. They want to be comfortable. They don't give a fuck about no glamour. They give a fuck about food. They give a fuck about what's gonna make me feel comfortable. Is this shirt gonna make me feel comfortable? Then nah, it look good, but it's not gonna make me feel comfortable. So give me the shirt that makes me feel comfortable. Give me the shirt that I've worn 15 times and it rolls around me just perfectly to where it makes me happy. That's them. They are the type that are very repetitive. Like, you know what a Taurus is about to do because they stay within their comfort. Okay, that's them. What else? They're the ones that's big on snacks. They be giving the best snacks, like the best meals. They are these are the ones that I'm just saying they do. They do. They can
come natural, honey. I worked at it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and it is very natural for them. Very natural. Let's see what else. What else? What would you say about Taurus risings?
So to speak, I guess to take it to the body, Taurus risings be solid, like basic, in the body. There's something like a tree. And I carry the way that I carry my weight and the way that I walk and even the way that my bone structure is that the bottom half is solid. I'm a solid person. I have more strength than I should for the lack of working out and upper body strength that I naturally have. But like I was always the person at work at Starbucks where everybody else could carry 5 gallons of milk at a time and I would carry 6. I don't have no upper body strength, but that's what I mean about knowing your astrology. Is you can know where little tips and tricks lie in. I could pull on that extra strength to come up when I needed it. Other thing with Taurus rising, I think what's interesting about my combination is that in me, like me and you are the opposite sides of Venus. In me is also the opposite sides of Venus. I have Libra sun, I have Taurus rising, and then I've got Pisces in the middle that's feeling all the things. So the level of luxury that I like to get myself to is it's otherworldly, but I really enjoy it. But I don't have any attachment also to what this is. Like the Pisces is here, the Libra is looking at somebody else, and the Taurus is like, we don't give a fuck what the fuck you do with this. So I'm like a Barbie doll. My favorite thing to do is have other people dress me because I'm like, okay, whatever.
Right.
That's kind of my Taurus rising. However, I've met a lot of other Taurus risings that are mad fly and real. So I think it just depends on the way that your chart works out too.
Right, it does. And how you were raised. It's a lot of things that come into play. It's not just your chart. It's a lot of things. It's your numbers, the time you were born, all of these things are aspects that can change, that could slightly change it. I just told you about 35 seconds, 35 minutes of a difference in how that changed my chart. So just imagine. It's very, very big. It's very, very broad.
I would say too, the easiest way to look at that is it's all things that help you to get to know yourself on a deeper level. You don't have to have them all. Again, pick the things that feel right for you, and they just help you to get to know you a little bit better. You still get to make the ultimate decision in the end.
Right. Just for fun, and then we'll go into closing. What sign do you think you're most compatible with? And we'll just let's do your moon sign. What moon sign do you think you're most compatible with?
Like what moons do I like?
Yeah, moon sign.
Oh, I like Pisces moons.
Pisces moons.
Pisces moons, like I like Pisces moons.
Yeah.
That's my favorite moon sign on another person, friend or otherwise.
Okay. I would say from what I attract, it would be Capricorn, but I wouldn't say that's my favorite. I would say that's the one that I attract. I think my favorite would be some type of water moon. I like the feels. I like the emotions. I like to see them on their shoulders all the time. The emotions right on their sleeve. I'm a fan of that. So yeah, I would say probably maybe like a Scorpio moon, a Pisces moon. Cancer, maybe, depending on what else is in their chart. But yeah, those are some of my favorites. And we'll get into compatibility and stuff like that, but that is some time from now. But we will get into that once we get the basics down. So I hope you guys followed really well with this, just because these are the 3 core and biggest aspects to your chart. We'll make sure to put the links down below of everything. If you guys need help, DM us, comment below. Let us know. We will get back to you guys. Don't even worry about it, to help you guys out.
Yeah, like we're all learning together. So as we learn, we're passing stuff on. As we learn more, we're helping you out. You guys have stuff that you're like, hey, this is what I learned. Let's talk about it. Let's get in community. That's the point of this, is to have these conversations and also to give you something that maybe astrology is more than just what you read in a magazine. Maybe it's something that you like. If it's something that you're attracted to, it's been fun for us. It might be fun for you.
It is very fun for us. I enjoy it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Any news? We ain't got any news. We're good.
That's it.
Thank y'all for coming, and we'll see y'all next Sunday. Peace.